Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to the video? The paid request, this time from Alexander. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a German film called Knockin' on Heaven's Door from 1997. Now, the title, of course, is in reference to the Bob Dylan song, which I remember got a pretty good cover from Guns N' Roses many years after the fact, and always enjoyed that song. Actually, the first time I heard it was in Lethal Weapon 2. At the very end of that, when you think Martin Riggs is going to die, ever since then, always enjoyed that song. Probably my favorite Bob Dylan song, if I had to think about it for a few minutes. Now, this is directed by a guy named Thomas Jahn, and it stars Til Schweiger. Til Schweiger's been in quite a few stuff. He was in *Inglourious Bastards*, directed by Tarantino. He's been in a few other movies. And this other guy, Josef Liefers, they play two people that separately go to this hospital, and each one find out that they have some type of condition where they could die any minute. There's no cure for it. They're ready. They're going to die. This is just a matter of time. The two meet each other at the hospital. They bond over that. They find this bottle of alcohol, and they go, you know what? Why are we stuck in this if we only have so much time left? And they decide they want to go see the ocean before they die, because they never saw the ocean. So they steal this car, and the car happens to be a car that these two guys, who are dressed like Travolta and Sam Jackson, Pulp Fiction. Does this try to be a bit of a Tarantino type of movie? I mean, the first time you see those two guys, they're having talks about Terminator and Pinocchio, and it's at times it seems like, I don't know if it wants to be a parody of Tarantino in terms of the violence, because there'll be those two guys shooting at cops, but no one's hit anybody. There's a point where our lead characters they're chased by the mob because the car they stole had a suitcase of money, but they're chased by the cops, and so cops are on one side, those mobsters are on the other side. Our heroes are in a car in the middle, and they drive into this field, and they're just shooting at each other, but no one gets killed. There's no blood. Maybe it's trying to be a parody of the excess of violence, but the fact here is that no one dies, even though this is overzealous of gunfire and so forth. This is a film I didn't mind. I did not mind the film. I thought Til Schweiger, honestly, is the best I've seen him do. Now, maybe because he just works better in his natural dialect of German. Maybe because he has a bit more to play with as a character compared to other roles I've seen him in. Because wasn't he in... was a Far Cry? The star of that movie? But Uwe Boll did that, so... I blame Uwe Boll more than Til Schweiger for that movie. I think he was the star of that. But this... him and the other guy are much more natural. Now, if you do find this, it's a subtitle movie. Some people are not really into subtitle movies. I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. But if it does bother you, just be warned. And the music in this was rather good. It begins with sort of a different version of I Will Survive. I really like the version of Knockin' on Heaven's Door that plays at the end of the film. I don't remember who did it, but I thought it was a nice cover version of it. And some pieces of the score, I thought some pieces of the musical score was rather decently emotional. Because, it's kind of showcasing these two, and when your life doesn't have much left, you gotta live full tilt until the final end. Because when they get going, they're going, like, Til Schweiger is more the impulsive guy. The other guy is more the timid guy. And because they could die any minute now, they just want to see this ocean, and they're getting drunk and they're going to like brothels, and they think they don't have any money, so Til Schweiger robs a bank, but he's very nice to the people. And then when they do find the suitcase of money, they're just giving the money away to people. It's like, well, we don't need that much, and just giving the money to people they meet. They made their bucket list. Til Schreider wants to see his mom one more time. The other guy wants to have a threesome with two ladies. I should say two ladies. So yeah, a bit of the two mobster guys trying to get that suitcase back since they screwed up and their car was taken, and the mummy, yeah, the mummy, the money was meant for this head mob guy. Like I said, moments with them try to pull off a little bit Tarantino-esque. I would say the more satisfying moments are between Till and Jan Joseph. Just I thought they had good chemistry with each other. I thought there's some nice emotional bits. Like they're talking about bucket lists, and then all of a sudden Till is having a seizure because of his affliction. There's another moment where this timid guy sees his new friend having a seizure. He goes in and they tell him no, we can't help. And then he gets out of his timid nature, pulls the gun, and goes, "No, you're giving me that medicine right now." So that was a nice little, not deep character development, but nice little moment for the show. They got a bit of a spine to help his new friend out. And like I said, the movie went at a decent enough pace. Like I said, there's nice moments where the two kind of reflect on, heaven, and all they talk about in heaven is the ocean. And what kind of made it more sad, in a way, was Rutger Hauer makes an appearance in the film. Rutger Hauer, because I wish he was in the film a lot more, but he's at the very end, and I wish that he was in it more to explain. Well, that's a spoiler, but even though Rutger's in it for a few minutes, he really makes it work. It was just great to see Rutger Hauer, because I miss the guy. A great underrated actor. Love Rutger and The Hitcher from the 80s and Wanted Dead or Alive. I love Split Second. I love Blind Fury. Of course, Blade Runner. Nighthawks. Just a great character actor. Very underrated. It was so sad when I heard he passed away. I still miss the guy a lot. And like I said, I do wish he was in it a bit more. I mean, it's labeled as a comedy. I probably didn't find it as funny as other people thought was funny. I don't know if it's a culture difference or whatnot. But I will say that, again, what made the film work for me is trying to have a bit of that Tarantino flavor, like a lot of those movies in the 90s did after Pulp Fiction, which some people hated. I didn't mind it, because since I like Tarantino's films quite a bit, if a film wants to take a page or two from him, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. If you take a page from Uwe Boll, then that's something completely different. You don't take a page from someone, take a page from someone who's talented. Like I said, I grew to like these two guys, and then in the back of your head, they could die any minute now, so there's a bit of that sadness to it as well. Like I said, there's nice quiet moments with the musical score that I thought was rather effective. And people may not realize that music is very important to me in terms of a film, because a simple, well done musical motif can really make me feel that you can have 5 minutes of meh dialogue, I don't feel a thing. You have one little piece of emotional music that hits, it'll make me remember it a lot more. It's people, I think, sometimes don't realize the effective nature of music in movies. I guess again, the spoilers. The thing at the end is that Rutger Hauer comes in and he has a nice line where he lets him go. That's why I wish he was in the film more, to get a bit more of understanding why he lets him go. Like maybe something in his past. Maybe it reminds him of his son who died of a certain affliction like they have. Or maybe he's dying, so he understands their plight. Or, like I said, I wish there was a bit more Rutger Hauer throughout it, that we learn a little bit more of his character. Plus, more Rutger Hauer is never a problem. And like, okay, we get why he lets him go. He just goes, I heard on the TV what you two are going through. Where are you guys going? The ocean. Ah, okay, you better get going. You're running out of time. Because it doesn't really explain why he lets him go. Either I guess it's just a nice mobster. But I do like Rutger's dialogue. In heaven, that's all they talk about. The ocean, the sunset, how wonderful it is to watch that big ball of fire melt into the ocean. And super spoilers, I thought the ending was effective, where they get to it, like the nice walk towards the ocean, and again the music fits well, this scenery, the cinematography fit well, and then they get there and Til Schweiger sits down, and about a minute later he has another seizure and is dead. I guess like the other guy kind of just knew that was going to happen, like just a matter of time, and he sits there with his friend, look out into the ocean, while again a really nice cover version of "Knock on Heaven's Door" is playing. So yeah, I thought with that setup, it was a nice, quaint, emotional ending. And my stomach, if you heard that, stomach agrees with that too. But yeah, I thought the two leads had good chemistry with each other. I thought the movie didn't feel too overextending itself with too many subplots that went nowhere. To sometimes they try to fit too much into a film like this. The direction was fine. It tries to be a little bit of that Tarantino type of quality. The the ending I thought made it the movie even more effective. Like I said, great to see Rutger Hauer in there. And overall, yeah, didn't mind the movie. Did not mind the movie at all. I'm leaving some gaps in case it is on YouTube and you to watch it with subtitles. I mean, granted, I gave away the ending, but that's why I said, you know, spoilers. But I guess even with spoilers, if you want to watch it, it is on YouTube and you can watch it with English subtitles. Overall, didn't mind it. Didn't mind it. Like I said, I wish there was more Rutger Hauer. The two guys that are trying to be a bit Pulp Fiction, those characters, eh. I I didn't think they were that. There's one funny bit where they're in a elevator near a hospital, and there's a patient waking up. What's going on? I'm God. He's Saint Peter. Shalom Aleichem. And then the patient's like, oh shit, and passes out again. I thought that was a funny bit. But yeah, two leads that worked well together. Acting not too bad at all. Beginning setup that's understandable of their plight. And nice little emotional ending. Decent bits of music. Some nice songs. Overall, a nice little package of a movie. So. Well, again, and like I said, I always like to see Rutger Hauer, even as a small bit. I'd like to see him in there. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.